Thank you for browsing page 121. I'm going to jump back into Dragon 89, which I just took a look at on the channel a few days ago. And I want to take a look at a few of the monsters that were brought into this one. 29 new monsters were featured in this creature catalog. The one I'm especially going to focus on right now is Explodestools. Why such a strange creature? Well, in my house, when you have a lower intestine bug, a flu or something, around here you get Explodestools or Explodostools. And it's just stuck since we first met this monster. So we're going to take a look at it. Uncommon, 10 to 100 appearing, armor class 10, 1 hit point each. Type of attacks, 1 explosion. Damage per attack is 1 to 2 points. Special attacks is deafening. No defenses, no special defenses, no magic resistance. They are not intelligent. They are neutral and they are small. Explodestools appear to be normal edible mushrooms and are only discernible for what they are by a ranger or druid of 5th level or higher, or by a sage who has studied plants and fungi. They are 50% likely to be found with normal mushrooms. And they grow anywhere above or below ground where other fungi grow. If a ripe Explodestool is touched, it will explode like a firecracker, doing 1 to 2 hit points of damage to the disturber, and 1 point to all others within 10-foot radius. That doesn't sound too bad, right? All beings within 10 feet will be deafened for 1 turn if they fail a saving throw versus paralyzation. The deafening causes a ringing in their victim's ears. The ringing has a chance of ruining a spell that the victim is trying to cast if the spell is a verbal component, because the ability to hear has a great effect on the quality of one's speech. The chance of failure is 50% minus 1% per level of the caster, plus 1% per level of the spell. Thus, a 12th level magic user trying to cast Cloud Kill spell has a 43% chance of success. 50% minus 12% minus 5%. Plus 5% of having the spell ruined if he is deafened before the casting ends. A bursting Explodestools has a 90% chance to set off any other Explodestools within 10 feet radius of it. This phenomenon causes a chain reaction that can be devastating to a group. A separate save versus deafness must be attempted for every Explodestools that is set off within 10 foot of a potential victim. Explodestools can be destroyed by fire or cold-based attacks without setting them off, but any attack involving physical contact with a ripe Explodestools will cause it to burst, including a real blow from a weapon such as a Frostbrand or Flame Tongue Sword. However, these weapons will kill an Explodestools if they are held near it without touching it. The cold of the fire will take care of it. When an Explodestools bursts, it scatters spores up to 50 feet away if there's no wind, or up to 200 feet away in the direction the wind is blowing. These spores can be collected and stored in a dry container for up to a month without losing their potency. It takes 4 days for an Explodestools to become fully grown from a spore and able to explode. Most Explodestools colonies have immature specimens growing on the edge of the colony, so adventurers will usually have trouble identifying an Explodestools colony unless they're in the middle of the group. Some castle owners plant Explodestools, often mixed with normal mushrooms so the enemy won't know where it's safe to step. Around the structure's outer wall is a warning and protection device. These were interesting, and I've used them a lot in my games. I still use them every now and again. These are especially good if you have shriekers. Those are types of mushrooms that scream when you get near them. These guys explode, and having them explode and cook off a bunch of others, you can end up, if you get 10 to 100, say you have 50 of these within 30-foot radius, you can do a lot of damage to the party very quickly and with a virtual certainty of deafening the party as the various Explodestools go off. So I do like these particular, I don't know what to call them, creatures, these particular fungi, and they're very useful for a DM. I actually had a player harvest some of these and plant them around the edges of his little cottage, away from the cottage itself so as not to damage it, but that way it was an early warning system. If somebody was trying to intrude, you'd hear the little bang, and that would be enough to warn you. He made sure to place them far enough apart that you would disturb them if you were normally walking through, but it wouldn't be enough to be lethal. That way, if anybody happened to walk into the area unintentionally and innocently, they'd take a little bang here and there, but they wouldn't be killed, even non-player characters. So he was pretty conscientious about that. He was of good alignment. Was a chaotic good ranger, and he just decided to kind of fortify his little cabin with that. And it also helped keep away bothersome animals that might otherwise come bother him in his little cabin. It was kind of neat. We had that off and on as a little base for a long time. He had a little path that went down where the Explodestools were not there, but he had some other defenses around there too. So there you have it. That's a nice look at Explodestools, or as we call them, Explodostools. And it was always a day home from school if one of my boys came out and declared that they just had Explodestools. So just family usage of a fun D&D monster. Like I say, it's still used in my house to this day. If somebody wants to describe themselves as being a little sick, they say, I have Explode, or we accept Explode or Explodostools. So Explodostools, I think one of my boys named them that. But there you have it. I'll look at a really interesting little innocuous thing to put into your dungeon or around your wilderness area. And in any kind of field of these things, they could cook off for a quarter mile, depending on how overgrown the area is with these things. You could do a lot of damage, but since it's only within 10 feet of your characters, you could blow out a whole meadow of these things and only do damage to some of your characters, and they wouldn't take all the damage, of course. But that's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought. I want to feature some other creatures from the creature collection out of this issue. Let me know. If there's anybody here that grabbed your eye, I'll take a deeper look at it. But I just want to say thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Take a look at the subscription. Please join. Comment if you would. And take a look at the Patreon. Help me out there. And I'll see you next time on page 121.